today I am going to make a paleo dish. I know a lot of my subscribers are vegan. I am not. And my doctor has asked me to make some videos for her clients on how to use the Instant Pot. Today I'm going to show you a recipe in the Instant Pot that is a paleo shepherd's pie, kind of. I mean, it's not baked, so it's not really a shepherd's pie, but that's kind of the idea. I am here house sitting in the Willamette Valley right now. The Willamette Valley of Oregon is kind of a food paradise, especially a local food paradise. I'm going to show you just how simple it is to make shepherd's pie, which I haven't done before, in the Instant Pot. I've got grass-fed ground lamb. I've got a couple stalks of celery. This is not local. I've got some Delicata Squash, Garnet Yam. So the recipe that I was basing this on calls for 2 carrots, but these are the young, fresh spring carrots from the Willamette Valley, and so they're smaller than what the recipe would probably call for. So 3 fresh spring carrots. Got a local onion, and then back here we've got our spices. I've got the salt and pepper. I've got the chili powder from my friend Kirk. I've got some oregano and some cinnamon, and it called for cumin. I don't have cumin, but I do have coriander oil, so I'm going to try using that because it smells right to me. And a little bit of olive oil for the bottom of the pan. Oh, and some garlic that I still have just a little bit of garlic from my garden from last year. Super easy recipe. You line the bottom of the pan with some olive oil. Going to put the sweet potatoes, yams, on the bottom of the pan. The rest of this I'm going to just chop up and put in with the rest of it. What I'm going to do is throw everything in my salad bowl and mix it up in there. What happens is everything else gets chopped up and mixed together and then added on top of the sweet potatoes. So far I have the rest of the sweet potato. I've got the carrots, the celery. Now I'm going to throw in just a half of the onion. I think the whole onion is going to be too big. It is smelling great. I'm going to do the garlic next. Where I'm staying I have chickens, and they're actually kind of right outside my door now. They hear me cooking. This is a total Joni edition here. Certainly not in any recipe, but I love Delicata Squash, and so I'm gonna just, so the recipe that I'm following, kind of using as a guideline, calls for 2 sweet potatoes, and I only have 1, but I had this beautiful Delicata, and so I decided to put the sweet potato on the bottom and the Delicata on the top. The recipe I'm using as a guideline has the sweet potato on the top and the bottom. Thought about putting in some, substituting the sweet potato for some regular potato, like it's got some gorgeous yellow red potatoes, I think, from my favorite farmer at the farmer's market yesterday. But I decided to keep it paleo. And potatoes aren't generally considered paleo. And my lady friends who live in the yard are gonna love this. This is probably the best treat for chickens, is the squash seeds. So those I'll probably just throw out the door. I love Delicata Squash because the skin is edible. Well, I mean, I'm sure that most squash skin is edible, but this is actually pleasantly edible. So now that I'm done cutting everything that I want to cut, I'm going to go ahead and open up the package of meat. Now for the spices, I'm going to do pepper and sea salt. This is Himalayan salt, and it's a little bit big for my grinder, so I'm having some issues with grinding it. But I love this little grinder. Okay. And then it calls for a teaspoon of chili powder. That sounds like a lot, but whatever. And a teaspoon. It calls for 2 tablespoons of fresh oregano. I guess I'm not gonna, I don't want to peel that off. I'm just gonna add whatever I think makes sense for that. A teaspoon of cinnamon, which is really common in lamb dishes. And then it calls for 2 teaspoons of cumin. I'm going to use a drop of coriander oil, and I just want to be really careful to only get that 1 drop because essential oils are super strong. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix this all up. Again, I've never made this before. Of course, you'll only see this if it worked out. I think I'm going to go full-on meatball here, or meatloaf, and just get in it with my hands. That's really the only way to get this mixed up. So now that that's mixed up, I'm gonna just put it in my Instant Pot. This isn't my preferred bowl to use for cooking. This is my salad bowl. I usually use my other pot that I have for cooking on the induction burner, but it's full of watermelon right now and it's in my fridge. All right, back with clean hands. I'm just gonna put the Delicata Squash on top. Okay, so now it's a matter of putting the lid on, sealing it up. This is going to be pointing to the back, and I'm going to hit my inverter. This is going to come on. To set your pressure cooker, you're going to hit the pressure button, and you can either push the down arrow for less time or the up arrow for more time. This recipe I'm doing for 3 minutes, and all you do is just set the time and then wait for it to start. So where I'm staying, I'm also watching a whole bunch of young chickens. Oh, they think I have treats. I didn't bring treats, I just brought my camera. What's fun about them is that they all come in here at dusk and they roost up on these beams, and all I have to do is shut the door. And we also have young turkeys, and their pen is just a little bit too small for them at this point. They just outgrew it before my friends left for California, so I think they'll be getting new digs as soon as my friends get back. One really critical thing that I forgot to add is some liquid. So the Instant Pot requires at least a cup of liquid, and so I'm just going to throw in some water. For some reason, I came back from feeding the chickens the seeds, and it was already counting down, which is totally wrong because it wasn't up to pressure yet. So I was able to just turn it off, take the lid off. I'm going to add a cup of water and seal it back up and start it over again. I find it really comforting to know that the Instant Pot is smart enough to not pressurize when there's not enough liquid in it. So now it's working perfectly now that I added a cup of water. Once it's fully pressurized, it will start its countdown for 3 minutes. And then after that 3 minutes, I just wait for the pin to drop naturally, which usually takes, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes. So all in all, the cooking time ends up being about half an hour, but you don't actually have to pay any attention to it. So, so that's one of the beauties of using the Instant Pot for cooking. The timer just went off, indicating that it was done cooking. I'm going to let it sit and let the pin drop naturally. I did hit the cancel button and now I'm going to unplug it. But if you were to make this in the morning and you needed it in the evening when you came home from work, you would be able to just leave it on keep warm until you're ready to eat. So really great time saving. If you're able to get your ingredients ready in the morning and get it, you know, just hit the button to pressure cook, and then you can have a hot meal ready for you when you get home. All right, the pin just dropped, so let's open it up and see what we have. One thing to know about the Instant Pot is that the lid is designed to sit on the handle. That looks great, and it smells even better. I just finished stirring it up a little bit just to check and make sure that the meat was all done, and everything is just done perfectly. So that was 3 minutes of high pressure and everything's just perfectly done. It smells amazing. I can't wait to dig in and have some. If you eat anything close to paleo, definitely give this a shot. You know, it was definitely heavily modified for the Instant Pot. A lot more liquid than you would normally have if you were doing a shepherd's pie, but it looks great. This is Joni with TheGalavan. Enjoy your journey.